Emma and Ryan were the perfect couple, or so it seemed. Together, they built a beautiful life in their cozy suburban home, raising their 2 young children, Lily and Noah, with love and care. From the outside, theirs was the epitome of a loving family. Ryan was a dedicated husband and father, often working long hours as an architect to provide for his family. Emma, a warm and doting mother, took pride in creating a nurturing environment at home. But beneath the surface, Emma felt something she couldn't quite explain. She adored her family, but there was a quiet emptiness that lingered in her heart. Her days became a blur of routine, packing lunches, running errands, and waiting for Ryan to come home late, too tired to hold a real conversation. She convinced herself that this was just how life was meant to be. Everything changed when she met Ethan. He was a charming, vibrant man she encountered at a local bookstore. Their conversation started innocently enough, a shared appreciation for classic literature. But as the weeks went by, Emma found herself drawn to Ethan's wit and energy. He offered her the attention and excitement she hadn't realized she craved. The friendship quickly escalated into something more. Their stolen moments together became Emma's escape, a brief respite from the monotony of her life. She felt alive in a way she hadn't in years. Yet, every time she returned home to her family, the guilt weighed heavily on her. She knew her actions were a betrayal of the love Ryan and the children trusted her with, but she couldn't bring herself to stop. One evening, Ryan came home earlier than expected. He noticed Emma's nervous demeanor and her phone clutched tightly in her hand. Though he had no reason to suspect anything, a seed of doubt was planted. Over the next few weeks, Ryan began to notice the small changes: Emma's sudden need to run errands at odd hours, her distracted gaze during family dinners. One day, Ryan stumbled upon a message on Emma's phone, one she had forgotten to delete. His heart sank as he read the words exchanged between Emma and Ethan. The loving family he had worked so hard to build suddenly felt like a fragile illusion. When he confronted Emma, she broke down in tears, admitting everything. She confessed that she never stopped loving him or their family but had gotten lost in the chaos of their lives. Ryan's initial anger was overwhelming, but it was tempered by heartbreak. For weeks, they barely spoke, navigating the home in silence. The children sensed the tension but didn't understand its cause. Ryan considered leaving, the betrayal too much to bear. But then, he thought about Lily and Noah and the life they had created together. He wasn't sure he could forgive Emma, but he wanted to try, for the sake of the family they both loved. Emma, too, was committed to repairing the damage. She ended all contact with Ethan and sought therapy to understand her choices. She apologized to Ryan daily, not expecting his forgiveness but hoping to earn back his trust. It wasn't an easy road. There were nights filled with arguments, tears, and doubts. But over time, they began to rebuild. Emma's betrayal didn't erase the love they shared, nor the memories they had created together. They both realized that their family's survival required vulnerability, communication, and mutual effort. Though their relationship would never be the same, they learned to find strength in their imperfections. The loving family they cherished became a testament not to perfection but to resilience and the hard work of choosing love, even in the face of betrayal. Certainly. Let's continue the story from where it left off. As the weeks turned into months, Ryan and Emma worked tirelessly to rebuild their relationship. Therapy sessions became a lifeline for them, offering a neutral space to express their pain, anger, and hopes. For Ryan, the process was about finding a way to forgive without forgetting. He needed to understand why Emma had strayed, and Emma had to confront the deeper reasons behind her choices. Emma, in turn, learned to communicate her feelings instead of burying them. She admitted that she had felt invisible in their marriage, not because Ryan didn't love her, but because she hadn't voiced her needs. For years, she had placed the children and household above her own well-being, until her sense of self had eroded. The emotional void Ethan filled wasn't about love but about validation, a painful realization that haunted her. Meanwhile, the children, Lily and Noah, sensed the shifts in their home but were shielded from the full truth. Emma and Ryan agreed to protect them from the details, choosing to present a united front. Their efforts to create stability for the kids became a grounding force in their healing. Family game nights resumed, laughter returned to their home, and they began finding moments of joy even in the midst of their struggles. One evening, as Emma watched Ryan tuck the children into bed, her heart swelled with gratitude and regret. She saw the man she had fallen in love with years ago, the man who had always put their family first, even when it hurt. She vowed to herself never to take that love for granted again. Ryan, too, found himself reflecting on their journey. He realized that while Emma's betrayal had shattered his trust, it had also forced him to confront his own shortcomings. He had been so focused on providing for their family that he had overlooked the emotional connection they once shared. He began making a conscious effort to be present, not just physically, but emotionally. Their journey was far from perfect. There were setbacks, moments when Ryan's anger flared up unexpectedly or when Emma's guilt became paralyzing. But they faced those moments together, leaning on the progress they had made. A pivotal moment came during a family vacation to the beach, a tradition they had set aside during the turbulence. As they built sandcastles with Lily and Noah, splashing in the waves and watching the sunset, Ryan and Emma felt something shift. For the first time in a long while, they weren't just surviving, they were living. That night, as they sat together on the balcony, Ryan reached for Emma's hand. "I don't know if I'll ever fully forget what happened," he said quietly, "but I know I still love you. And I want us to keep fighting for this. For us, for the kids, for the life we've built." Tears filled Emma's eyes as she squeezed his hand. "I'll never stop fighting for us," she promised. "And I'll spend the rest of my life proving that you made the right choice by staying." Their love was no longer the naive, untarnished love of their early years. It was scarred but stronger, forged in the fires of pain and redemption. The loving family they once were was now something new, more resilient, more honest, and deeply aware of the work it took to hold on to what mattered most. As time went on, Ryan and Emma's journey to healing continued, moving from a place of survival to something resembling renewal. Each milestone, no matter how small, was a victory. The first time Ryan laughed genuinely at one of Emma's jokes, the first night they stayed up late talking about their dreams for the future, or the first time Emma caught herself smiling as Ryan wrapped his arms around her. Emma poured her energy into rebuilding not just their relationship but herself. She picked up old hobbies she had abandoned after becoming a mother, finding solace in painting and journaling. Ryan encouraged her every step of the way, even surprising her with a small art studio space in the corner of their garage. For Ryan, forgiveness was a gradual process. Trust couldn't be restored overnight, but Emma's consistent efforts to prove her commitment slowly chipped away at his walls. They made a pact to prioritize their marriage, scheduling weekly date nights and carving out time just for the two of them. These moments became sacred, a reminder of the bond they were rediscovering. However, there were still challenges. One evening, Ryan stumbled upon an old photograph of Emma and Ethan that she had forgotten to discard. It reopened the wound, and Ryan found himself spiraling into anger and doubt. Instead of lashing out, he brought it up in their next therapy session, allowing them to address the lingering pain together. Emma didn't shy away from the hard conversations, no matter how uncomfortable they were. She had learned that true healing required honesty and vulnerability. "I can't erase the past," she told Ryan during one of their long talks. "But I can promise you that my future belongs to you and our family." One day, Lily came home from school with an art project she had made in class, a drawing of their family under a bright rainbow. In the picture, everyone was smiling, holding hands. "Our family is strong," Lily said proudly as she handed the picture to Ryan and Emma. Her words struck a chord with both of them. Despite the pain and challenges, they had managed to preserve the essence of their family, the love and stability that Lily and Noah felt. It was a testament to their resilience, to the work they had put in to mend the cracks and build something stronger. Years later, Emma and Ryan sat together on the porch, watching their children chase fireflies in the yard. The past no longer haunted them the way it once did. It was part of their story, but it didn't define them. "Do you ever regret staying?" Emma asked softly, her voice tinged with vulnerability. Ryan took a deep breath, his eyes fixed on the children's laughter. "No," he said, "because staying meant we had a chance to grow. It meant we could teach our kids that love isn't about being perfect, it's about showing up, even when it's hard." Emma leaned her head against his shoulder, her heart full. The loving family they had once been had evolved into something even more profound, a family forged in forgiveness, bound by resilience, and strengthened by the unwavering choice to love. As the years unfolded, Emma and Ryan's lives became a testament to the power of perseverance. Their bond, once fractured, had healed into something more nuanced, filled with mutual understanding and respect. The lessons they learned during their journey carried them through other challenges, financial strains, career shifts, and the inevitable ups and downs of raising teenagers. Lily and Noah grew up in a home that valued openness and love. Though they never fully knew the struggles their parents endured, they were keenly aware of how deeply their parents cared for one another. Emma and Ryan made it a point to model healthy conflict resolution, ensuring their children saw love not as flawless but as enduring. As Lily prepared for her high school graduation, the family gathered around the dinner table to celebrate. Emma looked at her daughter, now a young woman with dreams of studying art, and felt an overwhelming sense of pride. Lily's confidence and sense of self reminded Emma of the work she had done to reclaim her own identity years ago. After dinner, as the kids cleaned up, Ryan took Emma's hand and led her to the backyard. The night was quiet, the stars scattered across the sky. "Do you remember this spot?" he asked, his voice tinged with nostalgia. Emma smiled, recognizing it immediately. It was where Ryan had proposed to her, under the same canopy of stars, so many years ago. The memory of that night, of their innocent, unshaken love, brought tears to her eyes. "I do," she whispered. Ryan reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. Emma's breath caught as he opened it to reveal a simple gold band, engraved with the words, "Always worth it." "I know we've been through so much," Ryan said, his voice steady. "But if I had to choose all over again, I'd still choose you. You, our family, the life we've built, every piece of it is worth it. This ring isn't to replace the one you already wear. It's to remind us both that love isn't easy, but it's always worth fighting for." Emma's tears fell freely as she slipped the ring onto her finger. "I don't deserve you," she said, her voice breaking. "Yes, you do," Ryan replied, pulling her into an embrace. "We both deserve this." Their life was far from perfect, but perfection was never the goal. Instead, they found beauty in the imperfections, in the cracks that had been filled with understanding, in the mistakes that had been met with grace, and in the love that had been strengthened by forgiveness. As they stood together under the stars, Emma and Ryan knew they had created something extraordinary. Not just a family, but a legacy of resilience, love, and hope for the future. Years turned into decades, and Emma and Ryan's love story continued to evolve, shaped by the trials and triumphs of life. As Lily and Noah ventured into adulthood, the family faced the bittersweet transition of an empty nest. Their once bustling home, filled with the laughter and chaos of children, became quieter, but it was a new chapter they embraced with gratitude. Emma found renewed purpose in her art, which had grown from a private passion into a public endeavor. She began exhibiting her work at local galleries, her paintings often inspired by the themes of love, redemption, and resilience. Each brushstroke was a testament to her journey, a visual expression of the life lessons she had earned. Ryan, too, found ways to rekindle his own passions. He started mentoring young architects, finding joy in guiding the next generation. The wisdom he shared often came from lessons he had learned in his personal life, the importance of laying a strong foundation, not just in buildings but in relationships. One summer evening, as they sat on their porch, reminiscing about their years together, Ryan brought up the idea of renewing their wedding vows. "Not because we need to," he said with a smile, "but because I want to. I want to stand in front of our family and friends and say it all again. Only this time, with everything we know now." Emma's heart swelled at the idea. "I'd love that," she said, her voice soft but certain. The ceremony was held in their backyard, the same place where Ryan had proposed and later gifted Emma the engraved ring. Lily and Noah helped organize the event, both eager to celebrate their parents' enduring love. On the day of the vow renewal, Emma walked down the aisle hand in hand with Lily and Noah. She wore a simple dress, her hair adorned with wildflowers from their garden. Ryan stood at the altar, his eyes filled with the same awe he had felt on their wedding day so many years ago. As they exchanged vows, there wasn't a dry eye in the crowd. Emma spoke of her gratitude for Ryan's unwavering love and forgiveness, for his strength in their weakest moments, and for the life they had built together. Ryan spoke of the lessons they had learned, of the ways their love had grown deeper and more authentic over time. "I promise," Ryan said, his voice steady, "to continue choosing you, every day, no matter what life throws at us. Because our love isn't just a feeling, it's a decision, a commitment, and the greatest gift of my life." Their children watched with pride, understanding now, as adults, the true depth of their parents' story. They had grown up witnessing love that wasn't perfect but was real, messy, and ultimately unbreakable. As the sun set and the celebration turned to dancing, Emma and Ryan shared a quiet moment together under the stars. "Do you think we've done enough?" Emma asked, her voice filled with both wonder and humility. Ryan smiled, his hand resting over hers. "More than enough," he said. "We've lived, we've loved, and we've left something behind that matters. A family that knows what it means to never give up on each other." In that moment, Emma and Ryan felt the full weight of their journey, not as a burden, but as a testament to everything they had overcome. Their love, though tested, had emerged stronger, proving that the truest bonds are not those unmarked by pain, but those forged in its fire. And as the music played and their family danced around them, Emma and Ryan knew they had found something timeless, a love that, despite everything, had stood the test of time. As the years stretched on, Emma and Ryan moved into the golden phase of their lives, where the demands of work gave way to the joys of retirement. With their children now raising families of their own, the couple found themselves embracing the roles of grandparents. Lily and Noah both lived nearby, often bringing their children over for Sunday dinners at the house that had become a cornerstone of family tradition. Emma and Ryan's grandchildren adored their visits. The backyard transformed into a playground of laughter and imagination, where Emma's old flower beds became the setting for treasure hunts and Ryan's architectural sketches inspired games of Build the Best Fort. Their home remained a sanctuary for love and connection, echoing with the same warmth that had defined it for decades. One evening, after a particularly lively family gathering, Ryan sat by the fireplace, flipping through a photo album Lily had brought over. The pages were filled with snapshots of their life, birthdays, vacations, quiet moments of joy. Emma joined him, her head resting on his shoulder as they lingered on a photo of their younger selves. "We were just kids," Emma said, her voice tinged with nostalgia. "We had no idea what was ahead of us." Ryan chuckled softly. "And yet we made it. Every twist, every turn, it all led us here." Their reflections often brought them back to the lessons they had learned. They spoke openly about their past, not with sadness, but with gratitude for how far they had come. They knew that their story, once fractured by pain, had become a beacon of hope for their family. One particularly poignant moment came when Noah, now a father himself, confided in Ryan during a quiet afternoon on the porch. "Dad," he said, "how did you and Mom do it? How did you get through the hard times and stay together?" Ryan leaned back in his chair, considering his words carefully. "It wasn't easy," he admitted. "There were moments when I wasn't sure we'd make it. But we made a choice, to fight for what mattered. Love isn't about never making mistakes. It's about finding a way to forgive, to grow, and to keep showing up, even when it's hard." Noah nodded, his respect for his parents deepened. "I hope I can be half the man you are, Dad." Ryan placed a hand on his son's shoulder. "You're already more than that, Noah. Just remember, love isn't perfect. It's the effort we put into it that makes it worth it." As Emma and Ryan's days became quieter, they found joy in the simple pleasures: morning coffee on the porch, evening walks through the neighborhood, and nights spent reading side by side. Their love had softened with age, but its strength remained unshaken. One crisp autumn morning, Ryan surprised Emma with a small trip to the bookstore where they had first met Ethan. Though it had once been a place of pain, it was now a symbol of how far they had come. "It's where everything started to change," Ryan said, taking her hand. "And look where we are now." Emma smiled, understanding the gesture's significance. "I never thought we'd be able to come back here," she said, her voice filled with emotion. Ryan kissed her forehead gently. "Life has a way of bringing us full circle, doesn't it?" As they left the bookstore hand in hand, the autumn leaves swirling around them, Emma and Ryan felt an overwhelming sense of peace. Their love, forged in trials and strengthened by time, had become a legacy, a story of resilience and unwavering commitment that would inspire generations to come. And so, they continued their journey together, savoring every moment, knowing that theirs was a love story not of perfection but of enduring grace.